And welcome to Tavern Talk, a Wheel of Time themed live talk show based on the Epic Fantasy series by Robert Jordan. My name is Sir Ryan the Bombastic, and joining me as always is Brother Dan the Dancing Man and Jansen Lashley Haynes. Thank you all for joining us. Today's show is going to be a good one. We're continuing to talk about the series. This time we are going to look at predictions and look to the future. As always, Jansen will give us his insiders, behind-the-scenes brain, but to help us also, we have some guests. We'll bring them in shortly. Brother Dan, don't get too winded. We have a 90-minute show ahead of us.
Ryan, I'm doing the floss.
That's sick.
Thank you.
All right, I saw that. Didn't Usher do that at the Super Bowl?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, in fact, let me take my shirt. My shirt is not staying the entire show, Ryan. Like Usher. I too am showing my abs halfway through the performance.
Did he do roller skates?
He did roller skates, yeah.
Dude, I give him props for that, man. Like, that's some talent, man. Dude, the guy, hey, whatever you say about him, he's a super talented guy, man.
Oh, I say a lot of nice things about him. I say I want to run my tongue between the delts. I want to nuzzle his pecs.
I tell my kids that you are based not on how you treat people of high stature, it's how you treat someone like an Usher.
Excellent. Well, Jansen appreciated that.
By the way, Usher has been pretty committed to the roller skates things for a little while now. He's had like something on Vegas where it's all about roller skates.
He's got a residence there. He's got a residence there, and I heard it's a great show. I mean, I can't think of many better live places in Vegas. I mean, if you can go see Usher almost every night, that's pretty damn sweet. Like that's pretty huge. People, I mean, then a lot more people are doing that now, having those residencies in Vegas. But again, Vegas is one of my favorite places to go. So,
yeah, you know, when they were building the Sphere, I thought they were doing a 3D replica of Usher's abs.
Yeah, man, that's a hell of a thing to build, man. I've heard great stories. I still haven't seen it. I would love to. I want to see that, and I haven't seen the Raiders Stadium either, which they call the Death Star, which apparently is a big black cube in the middle of the desert, which looks pretty cool.
Yeah, a big black cube that absorbs heat. I mean, yeah, I'm sure that's a good idea, dummies.
Yeah.
All right, but we're not here to talk football. We're not here to talk Vegas. We're here to talk with our guests.
Yes,
right?
we are.
And the unveiling begins. Yes, joining us is Kay SedaiSedai, the Magical Skeeter, and Jono.
And Jono.
Not magical.
Jono, do you have what is that when you have like my name right now is Sir Ryan the Bombastic?
Yeah.
What is that? Is that an honorific?
For years, yes. Mine is just a shitty name, but yeah, that's not.
What would yours, Jono the what?
It depends. So if I'm at a certain area, like the Diddler, it really kind of depends.
Okay.
Jono the Diddler. So Jono, have you ever met another Jono?
I don't think that's a very common. Actually, no. One time I was playing soccer and I was very, very confused, more than usual, when the other team started yelling for where Jono to go, to find out that they also had a Jono. Slightly more mentally aware, I suppose, than myself. So that was. It only took a few minutes for me to figure out.
I thought you were suddenly popular.
Yeah.
I would imagine you'd want to fight him. I'm sorry. What did you say, Kay?
Oh, I just said he thought he was mentally aware at all at some point. I don't know. I spaced out during your story, so I'm not really.
Fair enough. I can't blame you for that.
But look, we're wearing our greens. Happy St. Patty's Day, everyone.
Top of the morning.
Nope, not everyone's in green.
I was thinking, you know what? Fuck this holiday.
I love the hair, Skeeter.
No, wait,
green, keeping greenness, nice.
I'm not a fan of this holiday. Saint, why is there a saint in a national holiday? Separation of church and state, baby. Let's go. It's already in the Constitution. And also, we're like naming St. Patty's Day. What did he do? Drive out snakes?
Ryan, everyone had the day off because it's Sunday. It's not a national holiday. It's a cultural celebration.
Just fun to eat green pancakes and drink green beer.
And do you drink green beer like before noon?
Yeah, it's totally acceptable.
Yeah.
Skeeter, I wish your hair was green for the occasion.
Yeah.
Skeeter, what color underwear?
Got a little bit of the blue teal.
Can we make it green by the end of the show?
Green is tough. Green is hard to get out. When I went green, it's hard to go anywhere from green. That was the toughest color my hair ever took. Anyway,
I've been dealing with green. I've been dealing with green my whole life.
Yeah.
I do like how Skeeter looked to his kitchen like he's like, well,
what do I have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, we've had 2 seasons. Like it or not, we've had 2 seasons of Amazon's The Wheel of Time. It ended kind of the way the second book ended, with Rand kind of being proclaimed the dragon.
Yeah.
And they promised that the 3rd season is going to be close to the 3rd book somewhat as well. So we're here to talk predictions. We're here to talk how they're going to do it, Jansen. We're going to talk what we most definitely want to see. Yeah, we're just going to talk about season 3, I guess. Right, Ryan?
Yeah.
Yep, predictions, but also hopes.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's no right and wrong in your hopes. Right?
Yes.
Hope. Like, your predictions are probably all going to be wrong. But your hopes.
These are all predictions. No, we know nothing that's coming, and this is just from our hearts and our minds.
Hope spring eternal, baby.
I know some shows do follow like casting, do follow like location shoots. We are not there, so we're not doing that. We're just.
I was going to say that actually, if you know in chat what's going on, feel free to let everyone else in on.
Especially locations. Locations are great because you can really, really do a lot with that. So that'll be fun.
One of the things I appreciate about your show is that, like my, but shittier version, don't really get to into the casting things. Can't wait to find it on screen sometimes. But I really like the just kind of let's make some predictions, even though there's way smarter people in the audience already, and that's why we have the show.
Sure.
Yeah, that's why we have
sure. For sure. That sounds great. I love that.
All right, so I've written an 8 episode treatise here. Let me pull it up.
Right. Bring out your tome.
Yeah,
bring out your tome.
Oh, I like that. Oh yeah, because we do only have 8 episodes that we have to cram all this in, so it's going to be sectioned into 8 sections. And then those 8 sections are going to be what I believe into 2 sections. Because I think they're going to have a mid-season climax, and then they're going to rebuild another one. So this is what I think they're going to do.
Nice.
I do believe
season climax.
So I believe the mid-season climax is going to be pulling Kalendor.
I think that was a different term than I thought, but I like that as a wonderful plot point as well.
Yeah, because then they're going to the end climax is going to be something to do in the waste near Ruidian or a Couladin type of thing. If we even see a Couladin, which I have some doubts about, but either we're going to see Couladin or Couladin is going to be one of the Forsaken, I believe, something like that. I think one of the new Forsaken, because they're going to have to put these guys in, and they're going to have to find ways to put them in, and. Right now, Rand kind of knows more than he did in the books by this point.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. He's doing like blood daggers.
Yeah, well, the
like
big thing is he knows how. You remember one thing that I think, and this is a direct quote from Asmodean in The Fires of Heaven. He tells Rand, "You know how to hold the source now every time." You know, he specifically says that. Yeah. And right now, Logain already told Rand to do that episodes ago, and he did it like immediately. So Rand already knows how to grab the source. You know, like, and we owe that to either to Logain or to Rand himself, just understanding how to do it. Yeah. Because they're going to have to bring things up quick, and I think that's one of the real ways to do it. I think that's going to be great. There's also going to be something else I predict. I also predict that we see Alexander Kareem a lot more next year, and Alexander Kareem is the actor who plays Lews Therin in the show. I think we're going to start hearing more of his voice, and I think we're going to start seeing a lot of him, maybe even in blackness like we saw in the first series.
Is he going to appear like a Princess Leia hologram on Rand's shoulder?
Yes.
Yes, I think it's going to be like that, but I think he'll be like a shadow, like the ones were like Logain's were.
Okay, but it'll be Claire that looks like him?
Yeah. Now, they could do it that way, but remember, there's a lot of different kinds of madness, too. So
it's going to be more like Animal House, where he's got the devil and the angel on his shoulder.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like
Tamil Thorne one, and then Lews Therin in the other.
Like
Peter, I think he was an amazing actor. So, Jason, I hope you're right. Like, I'd love.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, he's great. When you can learn a completely different language and act in it, like. That's insane, man.
Oh, so yeah, you have questions
that is crazy, unbelievably insane. Like Klingon even is probably easier, I would say, because there's a lot of grunts and stuff like that, and like, and they speak this, you know, like so you can make a sentence out of 3 words in Klingon, but the way they did it on this, man.
I have questions for you about this. Like, how do they go about learning an entirely different language that actually doesn't exist and have consistency throughout the inflection, you know, like throughout each character? Do they like take classes? Is there like they come together? Do they like practice speaking together? I imagine it's scenes.
I know that some do take classes, but if you think about it, it's like, because I was looking at it I look at it this way. It's like, if I've never learned how to speak German, and I get a sheet of German, like the alphabet or even a poem or anything, and I listen to it and I keep reading it, you know, I know that's what I have to say.
Yeah.
It's like memorized lyrics or whatever, like humming.
Exactly. Yeah. So if I'm doing that and I know, you know, over time I can make, you know, you can do anything. You can say anything.
Oh, yeah.
But when you get it to the point
to be like German,
that's what I'm saying, man.
Very specific. You know, like you'll know if it's wrong because we have people that speak that language, you know, but like Old Tongue is a created language, you know, from
totally. And I mean,
so that's
inflection, with inflection, it's just like if you're watching that, like I don't know if any of you guys watched it with the captions on.
Oh yeah, everything.
You know, it's like since some of those times when you're looking at captions, you're looking at like director's notes. You know, it's like Lews Therin says this. You know, in disgrace. You know, those little quotes and things like that they see helps you with like what you have to project.
That's really funny. I've thought about that before, where it says like pensive music playing. I'm like, did they put that in there because like during editing somebody needed to know to play some pensive music right now?
And also, there's also the fact that there's also great editing because us not knowing what the Old Tongue is. Yeah. However, they're saying it with inflection. We're gonna still think it's you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but to have it consistent from like one character to the other, you know, and it's just it's mind blowing. It's such a task.
Yeah. Do you think the actors got like a script with everything written out with the phonetically, or do you think they got an audio like?
I would imagine, well, maybe both. I mean, there's a huge amount of like the thing, Game of Thrones, not to bring up another like series, but like for Dothraki in that language, like they had like they created an entire fucking thing, right? Like actually like all the way using the hints that Martin had in his books.
And they have an expert.
Yeah, like they had a linguist kind of come in and like adapt how you would do that, and then kind of go from there. So I mean, there's like a playbook for how to do this shit.
God, I heard that linguist was cunning.
I was waiting for the joke. Yes. Yeah.
So Skeeter, let me ask you: how do you think that Luz Theron is going to manifest itself? Will he be a voice? Will he speak in old tongue? Will he be what? How? Talk to me.
Talk to me, Goose. Oh, we lost Skeeter.
No, I can hear him.
Yeah.
Really?
I can see him. I can see him.
I can see him, but
he hasn't said anything. Now I can. Yeah, I can.
I can't hear him. Can you hear him?
Nope.
I think Skeeter is holding his thoughts, and I think that makes sense.
Well, it says paused.
No, we can't hear you.
No,
nothing. We can't hear you, buddy.
Skeeter, go into the settings and look. Go under settings and look at audio, and maybe choose your source again. You want to choose your input source in the settings down below.
Oh my goodness, squirrely little buddy.
Until then, we have.
It was working fine before. How about now?
Oh, now it's good.
Oh yeah.
Hello.
There you are.
All right, cool. Sorry for technical difficulties. So I think that the taint puppet concept makes the most sense. You know, like Jensen was saying, just because we've seen it before, we're familiar with it. It's a way that manifests that shows us as the audience. This is maybe just in Rand's head, or we don't know, but it leaves that question there for us. It's a familiar cue already, so I think it makes sense to depict it that way. Probably speaking in the old tongue, I think, why would you not do that? And it's kind of cool. Maybe you switch back and forth a little bit, so we're not sure if Rand's translating himself or if So we also, as the audience, have that mystery in our head, going like, is he crazy? Does he have this knowledge? What are we seeing? What we're seeing?
Well, and Jono, we've seen that Luz Theron in the books is a lot to deal with. There's a lot of screaming, a lot of weeping. Is this the Luz Theron we're going to get, or are we going to get a more stoic Luz Theron?
I got to be honest. I hope we get the Luz Theron we get in the books, because there is some just unhinged shit. Oh, that's an adorable puppy.
Because you remember, he does have times of lucidity too.
100%, yeah. And it also, those times of lucidity, like, that makes a huge difference in how you would view Rand as a character, right? Just if you could see some sort of manifestation of what the fuck happens in the books, him having a man in his head who's sometimes sane, sometimes not sane, and all the kind of on again, off again, that's going to drastically affect how you feel about Rand, the character, because he's really going through, like, the amount of mental trauma that he goes through in the books with all these different people in his head is really underappreciated, because that cannot be easy.
No. I think, and also it's such a gift for production to have something like this, because you don't have to go back in time. Like, you have something right there that is almost like an encyclopedia that can, even like when Moiraine is saying something to Rand, like, in the Age of Legends, this happened. You can have Luz Theron in Rand's head saying, no, she's wrong. This is what really happened. I mean, they can do so many things to stretch and save, with Luz Theron being there to basically be, an encyclopedia about the Age of Legends. Like, he'll be able to, like, say things that we can see, even, like, because he'll be able to say things that we know that the other characters don't, because they're in Rand's head. So it's going to be awesome if they do it right.
Always a big if, and no offense to the people. Like, that's a tough thing to do, right? I mean, totally. And I've, without trying to be critical whatsoever, we don't know what season 3 is going to have, but that's just on the offset. How the fuck do you do that? Hence the question we've got here. That's a difficult thing to get right, without having just the weirdest, like, is this actor going to follow Rand around for half the scenes through the next, however many seasons?
Keep in mind, he's not the only one with a bunch of people in his head either.
Oh, and keep in mind,
we've got Matt.
There's other people who have played Luz Theron as well.
That's
the guy from Winter Dragon.
What if Matt's whole thing is just Uno talking to him?
Well, see, here's the thing, and this is when we're going to start talking about. This is where we're going to start talking about what our hopes and what we want to happen in the next season. Because here's one. I don't know this. Obviously, I don't know if this is true, but this is what I believe. I believe Matt already now has all of his memories from war.
Yeah. When he said,
I remember, that's how he gets them. And that makes it, that says a lot right there. That says that at the very least, he's not going to get those powers from going through the door.
Yeah, the dream terrain.
No, that's not saying he doesn't go through the door, but it's saying we know that he's not getting his powers like that from that.
Now, that being said, that allows flexibility for his arc with Tyr, with Rodian, with he can go a different angle.
I don't know if you guys ever saw. I'm going to bring up another show from television. If you ever saw The Highlander,
no,
with Adrian Paul, it was swords, and he always had to go back in time. Well, because they always went back in time because he was over 400 years old. Now, the reason I'm asking if you saw it is because of the way that they filmed that. Like, he would go into his mind, and then all of a sudden he's in like 1812 dancing with a woman on the floor, in like a big ballroom. Like, I was hoping that we're going to get something like that with Matt, like where he, goes into his mind and all of a sudden he's in a different time.
I've always loved those memories when they pop up for him. Like,
they're great.
You point like one of him dancing, like
yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, one of the sea folk right before Frolic Wars is about to start.
And she wanted him to stay with him, but he wouldn't. And that's when he had blonde hair. He was an inch taller.
Yeah,
and had a mustache. I remember that. Yeah, that was
my favorite is actually when he's playing a song and he says, "Oh, I remember when I wrote this."
Yes. Or when he was looking at the woman, remember when Tom from, where was he in? The Splintered Hills. That's what they called it back in the day.
Yeah.
Because he was in the place called the Splintered Hills. I remember that. And he looked over and saw, and I believe it was the wife of the old king of Eridhall. Something like that. I think that. Yeah. And Matt saw her when she was thinking about the poem that she wrote when she was looking over her balcony at the war. That was that's another great scene they could do. Again, I don't know if they're going to do that. And I don't think people realize how good of an actor you have to be Matt.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, let's talk predictions then and segue. We'll start with Matt. 8 episodes from now, where is Matt going to be? What's going to happen with Matt? Let's predict Matt's arc first. And I'll let Jono go first. What do you think?
Oh, you've made a giant mistake. So I am probably one of the least capable people of assuming and making up an arc for a show, because my guess would be like, oh, did you read book 3? Again, not a real. You should probably put me respectfully way at last, or just as color commentary, because I am just.
Well, okay. Well, book 3 does have the doorway, right? Or is it the doorway?
No, it's the beginning of book 4. Or not the beginning, about 200 pages in. So book 3 is him waking up in Tar Valon and all that shit, and then that's when all of a sudden everyone realizes that Matt Cawthon is like the fucking best character in the entire series.
Yeah. He beat.
I agree.
Yeah.
Are we going to see the fight with Matt?
Yes.
Beating up?
I do think we're going to see that fight at some point.
Kay, I hope the answer is yes, because that is one of the most just like again, it's right there as Matt's going from more like, oh, what a douchebag on like that he is, kind of to like, holy shit, he's amazing. And not only is he amazing, he's amazing like just entertaining and just with the core staff.
Well, is that scene diminished a little bit after him like already kicking some ass?
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Yeah, the answer is correct him.
Well, here's the reason. There's a reason now why Matt is going to kick their ass. He already has all the knowledge now. He already has all the knowledge. He can use a bow better than probably anybody in the world at this moment.
Yeah.
So it's, you have to, okay, so where does Matt end? Where does he end up by the end of book 3? He's sitting there, and the last thing I believe he says is at the end of book 3, the last thing he says is, oh, sure, I'm with you. Absolutely. And then he's like, how the hell am I going to get out of here? Maybe Tom will go. I'm sure I'm with you guys. And that's the end of the Matt that we got. And I believe that's the one we're going to have, but he's going to get there differently.
Skeeter, do you think that Matt is going to meet up with Tom?
I mean, I also hope so. This is a rough area for me because, like many people, I just love Matt's story in this. And there's so many good Matt moments and scenes that happen in the regular progression of this that we're already going to have a real hard time fitting in here time-wise, first of all, but also plot-wise, just because, like, as Jensen and everyone was saying, you know, because of where we left Matt as opposed to where he is at the beginning of this book. So it's hard. I mean, you could still have the quarterstaff fight and have it be a bit of a surprise if you do something to weaken Matt, you know, some effect of the dagger or something happens that we pull back a little bit from his badassery. Yes, I would love to see him do the quarterstaff fight, meet up with Tom, do the buddy cop, road trip action with him a little bit. I don't know how much of that we're going to be able to see for all the reasons just outlined, but I'm hopeful that we'll see as many of those as possible.
Okay, Matt and Min are kind of buddying up right now.
Also true.
I'm okay with their. I like their thing, but there is this whole dark friend situation that might be going on. Is Min going to stay a dark friend
in the show?
Yeah.
Did you know some of the books I didn't?
Such a weird question.
Well, I mean,
she is essentially a dark friend. You're absolutely right. I agree.
Yeah.
That's a really good question. I don't know.
We're like a dark acquaintance.
I don't think
a shadow pal.
Dark adjacent.
Dude, how many dark friends did we see in the book do things for the same reasons?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. I don't know. She fell into a bad situation though in the show, and it's like she's now kind of just in this weird thing where she is connected to them, but she also still has like her own abilities still and her own whole character arc that she goes through, and I don't know how she could possibly do all of that if she's deemed a dark friend.
Yeah. I mean, it was an odd choice. Go ahead, Ray.
It's hard out here for a pimp.
Okay. Let me ask our guest, will Matt have to struggle with the dagger at all this season?
I guess I'm the guest, right?
Jono, you're our special guest.
Oh, I special.
We have a special parking spot, Joe.
Thank you. Yeah, right near the back in another lot.
And around.
The answer's got to be yes, because they've got to. Like, I do think one of the things that would be an interesting kind of is to make that never present. I think, like Jansen, was it you who kind of said handicap is badassery, or was it Skeeter?
I think it was Skeeter.
I drink a lot and forget things, as Terry. But I think that's kind of one possible way of kind of putting the brakes on a character in a way that makes sense. Like, you don't want to have because there's nothing more annoying than a character who's always losing his powers, right? And there's many ways to do that. But in this case, if you have something that's kind of innate, already started, from season 1, that could kind of have this on again, off again effect, maybe it makes a little sense. Again, maybe. And I will go back to the last thing I said, in that I'm terrible at predictions and anything like that. And clearly it's not from the book. So, fuck it, it's wrong.
Yeah, see, I think we're talking speed here. I think that if they do anything with the dagger, it'll be completely ended by the first 2 episodes. It'll be out. They'll get rid of it.
There's a bomb on a horse.
Is who?
Sorry, I was going to make a shitty joke about Speed, the movie, and I like.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah.
Speed cringed more than most people did. Yeah, but that's all right.
And it's because you're talking about Tom. I'm telling you right now, this is what my prediction is. I predict that Matt does meet up with Tom, but I think Tom goes to Roydion because there is always a Gleeman in Meridian. And here's the other thing. Yeah. They have to find ways to talk about the Aiel culture. Yeah. They're going to use that up to help. I mean, that merging all that together with Tom being in an Aiel and them being so nice to him.
Wait a second. You think Tom's going to go there and Tom-splain the Aiel people?
No, I think he's going to go and be just how. Okay, so in the books,
I get where you're going. Yeah,
Tom goes to Tyr, and Moraine has to get rid of him from being so close to Rand. They have to find a way to do that as well. So to close it all up, to do it fast because they don't have a budget to do more than 8 episodes. Tom's going to go to Roydion. And Tom's going to go to the Waste with Matt and Rand, and they're going to use that to help their relationship grow. I'm telling you, that's what they're. This is my.
To your point, I mean, the fact is that Tom's going to ask questions because that's what Gleeman does, and therefore you can kind of he actually gets Tom-splained too, as opposed to Tom-splaining.
Yeah, Tom-splaining. I love it. I mean, they have to find a way to get Matt and Rand to trust Tom as like the father figure guy he was in the books, and him going to Roydion with them. And giving him his knowledge is going to help that. Also, the fact that Tom, they're going to have somebody that counters Moraine. And right now, I'm telling you, I also believe Moraine was one of the Aes Sedai that helped gentle Tom's Owen.
Oh, his nephew?
Yeah.
Yeah, right now, Tom is, as I said before, is the worst Gleeman ever. He plays one song that's all sad, and then he goes around hitting up every table.
Your hat.
Okay,
we're good. And then he goes around hitting up tables for tips. It's like, come on, man. Earn it. And you're a Gleeman, not a sad man.
Oh,
I don't want
Yeah, Jansen would need bigger smiles.
My Chemical Romance Gleeman.
Yeah.
All right, so let's I guess go with Rand. Oh no, go please.
I have a question about do you think that we're gonna get more of the Tel'Anriod aspect and maybe some more Nynaeve moments where she was in the arches, because we have this whole thing with the Aelfin and the Aelfin. Do you think we're gonna go there at all? What? I don't know. I guess those are two very different questions. They are, but Tel'Anriod and that whole thing that they did where it was we were super tricked by the whole storyline because. Yeah. She, we thought that it was over, and then it wasn't, and that was just such a cool thing to do and so much fun. And I was
half of the entire book series takes place in Tel'Anriod.
Yeah. Wait, what?
So almost half of the entire book series takes place in Tel'Anriod. Just about 90% of the time we see Ishmael or Moradin in the books. He's in Tel'Anriod.
Yeah, all of book one, the entire book one was in Tel'Anriod.
So
if you finish the series, sorry, spoiler, the whole thing takes place in Tel'Anriod.
The entire thing, yeah.
And so now they're we've already heard rumors and speculation, and people have said that they're going to be dealing a lot with the Aiel, and Egwene obviously goes to the Waste as well. If she's going to be getting taught by the wise ones, which I definitely believe they're going to do, we're going to see Amis and Melaine and Bear. And I believe we may even see Sorillia earlier than we thought when we usually got, because they have to speed stuff up.
Yeah.
All right, so let's. I guess.
Bilal? Sorry.
No, say it again.
Do you think we'll get Bilal?
No.
The Netweaver? No.
No, I don't think he will get the Netweaver at all.
Yeah.
I think we are going to get Aiel culture and land. So let's talk a little about Aiel.
Well, that's. You guys go first.
First, Jansen, let's talk about the cat.
Well, we're getting into my favorite part of the entire series. My favorite chapter of the entire series, that I'm going to say we must get, and that is the Road to the Spear, which is my favorite piece of this entire. Because you go back and you see not only the journey that the Aiel made from the Age of Legends, we get so much information in this chapter
It might be one of the greatest like pieces of writing. Like as far
it's
as like,
amazing.
I will critique you. I believe it's 2 chapters technically.
Well, yeah, I believe it goes into
what this rarely happens.
Challenging Jensen on chapters.
But I think that
we could do that. But yeah, no, it is. I think it goes into 3 or 4 chapters actually, but it starts with the road to this road.
Regardless, you're exactly fucking right. That it's probably some of the best writing in the entire series, which of course means it's some of the best writing ever.
Yeah, I mean, and I think we made so Rand's relatives, and I always thought this was weird. This was a kind of a cool thing about the books that I always wondered, if they ever thought about it or anybody else thought that, Jonai, who was Miran Sedai-Zail.
I thought it was 2 Jonos. Is Jonai.
Yeah. Jonai. And ended up being, one of Rand's forefathers. So it was just very interesting.
Rand or Rand? I'm sorry, who?
Rand.
Randolph Thor.
Yeah, because Jonai was always weird. He ended up being hung by townspeople.
Thank you.
Because he said that he was one of those people that said that Lanfear wasn't always evil.
Yeah.
And I love those. I just love this entire section of Rhuidean. The trip to Rhuidean is a very, very, very dear to me, at least. So I hope they do this right. There's a lot of characters that are introduced.
Yeah, if they fuck it up, it's one of those things that I think people really connected with, even though obviously clearly not literally. I remember walking through my past. No, you don't. But it's something that really is one of the most visceral moments of the entire series, where you trace an entire culture in just a couple different vignettes of each character, and if you get it right, then hell yeah. And if you get it wrong, then
you think we'll see Cold Rock's Hold? Or Emery Stand or any of those places?
I don't know. I really again. That's one of those things. I'm not. Yes,
because in the books, the scale of Cold Rock's Hold is huge. A well-sized town.
Yeah.
So it's I really, and Emery Stand isn't small either. The one in Emery Stand, I believe, got raided by Trollocs. Where the sheep had just been left to go, which made me think weird. I'm like, Trollocs don't leave sheep. It always made me feel weird in the book. So that's why I thought that it was a ruse and that Lanfear, somebody just slaughtered everybody and then ran away, because Trollocs would not have left sheep.
Skeeter, will Rand be named Karkarn and get the dragon sleeve tattoos?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical on this, that we're getting that far into the Aiel and Rhuidean stuff. I mean, I know we have to move fast. That's
yeah, I think you might be right.
But most of what I've heard is that we're mostly on book 3. I assume we're going into book 4 stuff, but what we're talking about right here is well into book 4 stuff.
Well into book 4. Yeah. But we're going to get book 4 stuff. I mean,
yeah. I'm just not that far into the Aiel plot and the Rhuidean stuff. I think it's fine if we do, if that's pretty much Rand's arc for the thing. It's because we're probably skipping Tyr, right? We've got you.
Really?
Well, I mean, I think that they have to go. No, I think they have to go to Tyr. I do think they have to.
Well, yeah, you're talking about Tyr. Okay.
Because the reason why is because the storytelling part of it, I believe that, and then this is another speculation, but I believe that the High Lords of Tyr are the only ones who know that Kalendor exists in the show. Because they don't let Aes Sedai into Tyr. They don't trust them. And in the book, even, it says that the High Lords are the only ones who met at the Heart of the Stone once a year. And so I think that they're the only ones. And we do have evidence in the books of lords passing down things to other lords that Aes Sedai did not know. We do have evidence of that. So I think that the White Tower, we already have heard they don't know everything. We know that in the books, but we know already when Swan Sanche told Rand, this is a totally something different from the books, that Tower law states that when we find the dragon, we're supposed to capture him and cage him. That's what she says in the show. Rand. Yeah. He says that to Rand in the show. So we know from book readers, at least, we know that in the books that was not the case. So what it tells me is that I believe that, and they also say that different cultures have different parts of the prophecy, which they do, because the Shan-Chen have their own, we, and that was one of the big ones, the standing over his grave, and I mean, so I think that the High Lords of Tyr, I think all the cultures have different pieces of the prophecy, and I think that once they go into the stone, they're going to see Kalimdor and they're going to know what part of that prophecy was.
I loved that part. I thought it was very interesting, like very diabolical from Ishamael about the Shan-Chen having a radically different set of prophecies, if you will. I think that I really wish that had kind of gotten a little more time in the last 3 books.
We get a lot of it from Tuon later on in the book series.
That's one of those things. I don't know if it was a Sanderson thing, a Jordan thing, or whatnot. But either way, well done. Very interesting. If that was a change that Brandon brought, that's clever.
Actually, we're reading book 10 now, and they bring it up a couple times. So it's like we get point of view of Shan-Chen, and they're like, does he even know that he needs to kneel before the?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So it was brought up a couple times already.
Sorry, Brandon. He didn't do shit. No kidding.
He didn't do fucking shit.
Oh my gosh.
He's watching now, I believe. Hi, Brandon.
Hi. Yeah. He loves puppets.
Yeah. I mean, and remember, there's also the Jindo prophecy.
Yeah.
That, and we've heard that we're going to see a lot of the Sea Folk this season as well. This coming up season as well. And so they have a prophecy. Huh? The what prophecy?
The Ginger prophecy.
No, I don't know that one. I like that.
I had some more questions actually about like the parent arc. So I'm glad that Dana Lou is asking this question right here. Because what do you think is going to happen with Perrin and that whole situation? Him going back, him meeting Fail, Fail getting these, what did I write down in my notes? Something wool-headed people to fight.
Wool-headed people.
That's their phrase, not my term.
No, I love it.
Well, where's Perrin's arc in? When Perrin leaves the Two Rivers, so the end of his arc, he's got basically his own group at that point, and I believe it's like 7 people. So in the book, he has Gaul, he has Loyal, he has Fail, he has Aram, he has...
Or does Aram have him?
No, he has Aram, he has... Who else? No, there's another one. There's...
He has Bane.
I mean, Will Alcine goes with him, Will Alcine, but then who becomes Daniel, I think it's Daniel, who becomes his right-hand man, basically, his first sergeant. And he leaves with all those people, and then he starts his own group. So they're not going to have all those people probably. They're probably going to merge some of those people.
Yeah.
And I mean, I speculated that it might even be Dane Bornhold who takes Gaul's place.
I hope not. I think, but there are certain things like that. I think that like the readers obviously are not the core of what they're looking for. Like they're like,
no, of course not. Of course not.
I do think that there are certain fan favorites that they know that like if you get it wrong or you leave them out, like there's going to be hell.
I agree with that.
And there's a 69% chance that Gaul is one of those. That Gaul is definitely like, and then obviously that spills in the Bane and Shiad things, who we've seen.
Okay, so to this point in the show on both seasons, who do we have we not seen as the books go? Who have they taken out?
Almond Bunt.
Yeah,
Almond Bunt. So they've taken out Huron.
Yeah.
They've taken out what was the White Cloak's name? Jared Byer.
Yeah.
He was a big character. And they've obviously made
take out the Green Man.
Yeah. Well, the Green Man. Yeah, the Green Man.
By the way, happy St. Patrick's Day to the Green Man.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Here's my prediction is that the role of Gaul will be assumed by Ruark, and Ruark is going to be hanging out with Perrin.
I don't hate that. I especially as the series.
I don't hate that either.
I'm not upset.
But I don't think so. I don't think a clan chief's going to leave his clan like that, though. I think that Bane and Chiat are going to go with him.
What if he has toe? If he's got toe,
I think that's all. I think he's got Bane and Chiat. That'll do.
Yeah.
Well, and that makes sense. Somebody said, let's see, Mayhem Markham. Says, I think Avi will ask Bane Chia to protect Perrin because she is called by the wise ones.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. What do you guys think of that?
So that's a smart prediction as opposed to
that's a very smart prediction. I think that's true. I mean, that makes perfect sense. Bravo.
That's the opposite of Mayhem. That was actually transcendent.
No, that was very
good. It makes perfect sense. I can't even think of anything better.
Brother Dan, you look like a private detective in like a 90s television.
No, I'm in Newsies. I'm all...
You guys keep in mind, they don't have to make Avienda might be the one that goes. They don't have to make her be able to channel to get to the end of the story.
You're not wrong. It really doesn't like her channeling ability to a certain extent during the show or during the series doesn't really add that much when compared to like so.
If she doesn't make the gateway, there's no igloo sex.
Oh, fuck. I take it all back. Dude,
but I mean, here's the thing. Are they really going to make Rand fuck everybody?
I hope so.
This is not a shit. I mean, this isn't the book.
Absolutely.
He's already turned. I mean,
I'm on the waiting list.
We've gotta have like.
Yeah.
Look at Brother.
We signed up, right?
Brother Rand.
I mean, they've already hinted at Elaine. They've already definitely hinted at Elaine. But see, the thing is, they're going to have to go a long way.
Yeah.
Igloos or we riot.
Yeah.
Let me let's switch to Fane. Let's see what guys. I want to hear some Fane predictions. We'll start with you, Skeet.
I don't know. So we were kind of starting to get into the Perrin thing, and so Fane's next real thing that he does goes to the Two Rivers. Like he's bouncing around causing some trouble theoretically in the background or whatever. But like that's where we need to see him next, or that's where in the books we see him be effective next, I guess, and be a good villain. And so if we're seeing Perrin go there this season, which
we are.
Like if you think that's a back half of the first season thing, like
well, there's a chapter or there's an episode called Golden Eyes or something like that. So unless they just watch the movie GoldenEye, which is possible, great movie. So maybe
I think GoldenEye. I think that's the end. Yeah, that's the last,
second to last episode. I think.
Chapter in what is that in
Yeah.
So as of right now, Fane is.
I interrupted Peter. I apologize.
Yeah, as of right now, Fane. Let's just keep in mind, Fane is more or less the lieutenant of Ishamael.
Right.
Lieutenant. You always do.
Now that means and how the Forsaken treat each other. I believe that the rest of the Forsaken are not going to be as nice to Fane as Ishmael was, and that's going to start his degradation.
All right, so go on, Skeet.
So we could see that out of Fane. I wouldn't mind seeing something completely different. Like, let's just do something different with Fane, and let's bring up Slayer as Perrin's kind of nemesis in this season. Like, because it's going to be a lot if he's dealing with Bornhold, Slayer, and Fane, and I want to see Slayer. So
and Volda.
He's not an evil person, Volda. He's just a rapist, murderer person.
Volda is going. Volda and Jared Bayer are merged. I believe that's what it is.
Yeah, fair enough. So, to answer the original question, I would rather see Perrin focus on these other guys, and you can do just about anything with Fane. We've got a lot of arcs of his to pull from that could fit here, where he's antagonizing Matt maybe more like we thought could be intended. I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. That's where it seems like it may be headed a little bit, Jono. Like where we had that scene with Matt and Fane. Fane's like, guards, runs away. He's like, it didn't even take you an hour, you stupid shit. So do you think that maybe there's going to be Fane and Matt scenes?
Well, could it be that Ishmael shielded Fane from the effects of the dagger when he was alive, and when he died, they came back, and now Fane has to get the dagger back? Or is at least drawn to it? and that's one of his biggest focuses when he does not have it in the books is getting that dagger back, which he actually goes to the White Tower to get. Meets Alvarian, tampers with Elida's mind a little bit.
Yeah, it's one of those things that. Well, I'm sorry, you finished, Jason. I just came right in.
Oh no, please.
I guess one of those things that like Fane's influence really needs to be kind of like amped up, like or at least more obvious, because what the fuck he does, he has huge scars on all three of the main characters, right? All three ta'veren. He also has a massive change on how Elida seems to be as a person, and therefore what the White Tower, the single strongest faction, does. And yet, it's only afterwards when you think about it, even though like that you go, oh yeah, Elida acted really insane, and that's not even like a woman joke. That's because she was. By the way, you're all sexy.
Eamon Volva, I'm sorry. Are you an Elida apologist right now?
Always.
See, the thing is, though, I think that Elida and Alvarian might also be merged,
and that's okay with me.
And I think Elida might be a Darkfriend in the show. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Think about that change, though. Like, depending on how they bring her in, right? Like, does that change all of her work with Andor? Does that change?
Well, there are a bunch of Aes Sedai that we haven't seen in the show up until now from the books.
Yeah.
Like tons of different ones. I mean, I can't even name them all. But we've seen a ton, and that was the only thing that I really, really did not like about season 2, because I love what the change that they did for the White Tower. It seemed sprawling. It seemed awesome. It seemed like these girls were in this gigantic fortress learning and going around. I thought it was great. But we didn't get to see a lot of different Aes Sedai. Specifically, we saw a good source of the browns, which I liked, but in the greens. But we didn't get to see like the blues and the whites and the grays. We didn't get to see like some of those characters and what they portrayed in the books. I believe we will see more of that, especially when Elida comes. We'll see more political things, but.
I hope you're right. I really hope you're right, because you're right. We didn't really get like in-depth Aes Sedai like culture stuff that I would have really liked to have more of.
So here's my question: do you guys think that Egwene goes back, or Elaine and Nynaeve? Do you think they all go back to the tower?
All of them? No, I don't think they all do. I think that because as you've been preaching to the right, that there has to be you got to move shit on, right?
Exactly.
So unless you can move them out of the tower quickly, and we have seen the ways, I guess. There's a lot of plot points to hit that have some significance. Now, obviously, they're going to be changed in who does it and how they do it, but to a certain extent, it's almost like going to the tower is almost like being put in neutral, because nothing key, at least in the original books, really happens there.
Being raised to accepted, though.
Well, yeah, that was awesome. That's already happened for one of our characters.
Yeah.
Will we see Egwene's accepted?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's a big character arc for all those three women. So, are we going to see them go back to the tower for that? I mean, four. Yeah, I mean.
Well, I hope we do, because it feels like a great way to show why they would have such quick character developments, because they're going to have to do this so quickly, and these characters change so much.
So do they do a time jump is what I'm saying.
So
and if they do a time jump, like all the things that happen are going to be shown in flashbacks, right? Yeah. So, I mean, that's another way that they use, for production to get something done real quick. They time jump all the way to the girls already back there. And then they have like flashbacks of what was going on. And remember, there's a lot of different time differences between all the characters in the books. The last time in the books that we see everyone together is, I believe, at the Stone of Tyr. After that, there's never a time where they're all together again.
Yeah.
So they have to jump that ahead.
But that's a spoiler thing.
Oh yeah, sorry guys. I'm sorry about that. I should have been. This is a red alert spoiler. I'm probably going to mention everything.
Well, let me ask you. So, is Swan going to end season 3 as Amyrlin?
No way.
No. I mean, I don't see how they could possibly do that and cover as much of the story as they need to, and the way that they're going. That
now we know. Now,
I don't think there's any possible way she's going to be there. I don't even know if she's going to return, necessarily. Do you think she's going to return?
We'll see. What's the chapter called? And it's not in. It's not in.
All right. Well,
Shadow Rising. I believe it's called The Truth of a Viewing. That's when she gets deposed, right?
Oh, with men stuff. Yeah.
Wow. Jansen did it again.
Nice.
The man likes to talk. Chapter titles. But what's the chapter icon? No, I'm kidding. That's absolutely well done.
Yeah, it's called. I mean, but that's when, and that's but in that chapter, a lot happens in that chapter. Min's in that chapter. Min rescues them in that chapter.
Yeah, that's again, that's a pivotal fucking thing, man.
Yeah, that's huge. So
also, you're like.
Here's another thing. Here's another thing. Is Min going to go to Tarvalin because she needs to be there?
And the question is Swan going to get eaten out by Moraine before this ends?
They'll never. Moraine and Swan will never see each other again.
No, I don't. I believe you. I believe that's correct.
I think that Jansen is onto something. It's a blindfold thing. It's a nice kind of
yeah.
I like what you're
man. Anytime they have a montage like that, at the end, and they go back and show everything, they have no way. It's over. And they begin, and that episode even began with Katara and them together. Yeah, that's it. That's over. They're not going to see each other anymore.
That was actually really heartbreaking to see that.
It was done well. No, it made you feel it.
Well. I think it
made you feel it.
We miss you, Beth.
We miss you, Beth.
I saw Beth live on TikTok yesterday, I think.
Beth has level 10 hay fever.
Skeeter, what are your thoughts? Do you think that Moraine will get to have that snatch again or no?
Well said.
Yeah, you're just phrasing of your question is fantastic. I kind of think not. I think it's a little bit more tragic and interesting if that's one of their character things they have to deal with going forward. And really, you don't see much interaction with them from this point onward in the books.
There's no way to drive the story with that. It brings you back.
I think
unless they were pulling the lawn con, which I believe.
Right now, Swan thinks Moraine's a dark friend.
I think they want her to.
I forgot about the actual.
Forget about this, man. She left with Lanfear.
Yeah, right. That's true.
Right.
She left with Lanfear. So I don't see them getting back together, man. They left her bleeding on the floor.
Well, I mean,
love can get past anything, all right, Jensen.
Thanks, Skeeter.
They're super soldiers on a 20-year mission. I think they're smarter than that.
You would think.
Real quick, Farstrider, thank you for asking. I'm on Winter's Heart. We're
chapter 24.
Almost done.
Almost done.
2 more weeks.
Hey, did you get to the point where? No, I'm kidding. There's nothing more those questions.
Yeah.
No, thank you for asking.
She keeps asking when the real dragon's going to pop up. I say any chapter now.
That's another thing. Do we think the weather is going to start changing around or not?
I fucking hope so. Again, that's one of those things that that is a huge underappreciated thing that Nynaeve and Elaine really did was actually bring the world in a way that doesn't just destroy itself from heat stroke.
So that means the bowl of the winds, maybe. I don't know.
Well, yeah, the sea folk.
Yeah.
Do you think is that going to be a plot point for season 3 or season 4?
Everyone's favorite plot. That's
That's a really good. I think that you're right.
I think that's a season 4 guy.
They healed the weather.
Yeah.
No, I think that plays right into my point where I think every culture is going to have part of the prophecy.
Yeah.
And I think the bowl of the winds is going to be part of it in that. I think every culture. Yeah, I think every culture.
Let's jump into, because I want to say there's all right, let me start over. Hi, welcome to the Way to Leave. Let's talk about the things that we definitely want to see if we can. And I'll go first I want to see a steading so freaking
Ooh, good one, man. Heck yes.
Yeah. We need to see the Ogier. Beside Loyal has been done dirty, in my opinion. He's not been represented super well. Let's get some awesome Ogier. Let's get a bunch of them. Let's get a great stump. Yeah, go ahead.
I love the actor who plays Loyal.
Yeah.
Because aesthetics aside, whatever he looks like, you close your eyes and you listen to him, he is loyal.
Yeah, I fully agree. I think they did him dirty with the looks, but as far as the actor goes, the guy doing it, he's fucking knocking it out of the park.
Yeah, knocking it out of the park.
He's great.
Did you get
him? The makeup department I have a slight issue with, but aesthetics.
That was a money saver. That was a money saver right there. You know, it was,
what do you call it? But they finally took effort in season 2 to make him taller, right?
Yeah,
like season 1, you were like, yeah.
Well, here's another. They were using some of the old Lou Ferrigno tricks where they filmed different ways and like up and down and stuff. And people don't realize this. Lou Ferrigno, who used to played the Hulk back in the day, was Mr. Olympia, was a giant man. If you see pictures of him standing next to Arnold Schwarzenegger is like 6 inches smaller. It's pretty crazy. Lou Ferrigno was a very large man. And they used tricks as when they would film him, they would tilt it up a little bit so he looked taller. And every time they filmed somebody talking or looking at him, they'd be looking up. And that's one of the things that they've been doing on the show to make Loyal bigger, which is great.
Thank goodness.
First time you see him, he's like standing over Perrin, who's sitting down, which made the effect even greater.
Yeah. Lou Ferrigno's 6'5".
Yep, I just looked it up too.
big man.
Yeah, it's a big man.
Big man. Big man.
Yeah.
All right. What do I hope to see in season 3? I hope to get a reunion of Bella.
Bella's looking at infinity through those glasses, Ryan.
I'm sorry to say this, but I believe that we saw Bella once and we will never see her again.
Oh, just like Swan and Moraine?
I hope that we see Hopper reappear in the dream world.
I believe that we definitely will see that.
Reunion.
Jansen's all, if you love something, set it free.
Jansen, what are you drinking?
I am drinking sparkling water.
Oh, okay. Yeah, me too.
I haven't had I actually stopped drinking alcohol 335 days ago.
Let's go.
Weird. That's right after Jordan Con.
Yes, it was. Who you been talking to?
That's weird. Yeah. Oh, okay. I am also drinking sparkling water.
Skeeter, Kay, what is the one thing that you really, really want to see in this season?
Rand's penis.
Yeah.
No,
I believe you'll probably get an ass shot, but
that's not something I want to see. What do I want to see? What I had written down was Rand trying to revive the child, and I think that's just I think it's important because of his character arc and what they have to do with his development and how quickly they have to do it. And I think that scene is so important in his development and in just seeing the girls be afraid of him for the first time, really, and see that he's kind of losing it and disconnected. I just think it's an important scene for the whole story and for Rand specifically. So that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, you're open for a dead kid.
I just want to see a powerful scene like that. I think it's important for the storytelling of Rand and how he changes. He's this farm boy, and then he changes so quickly and is so influenced by all of these different things, but also he's got this loose theron in his head, which I don't know how they're going to portray it. I hope it's done in a way that you described.
By the end of
really cool.
In case that I can see Josha really pulling that off too.
Yeah, Harry used to cry.
I think he's fantastic. I think I really, really, really enjoy watching him perform. He's really good. I think by the end of book 3, Rand had gained a very small part of the Aiel's loyalty. And that's when he pulled Kalendor, and not just Defenders of the Stone, but Aiel and everyone who was there got on their knees and screamed for the dragon. I think that by the end of this, because of speeding things up, by the end of this season, he will have gained the majority of the Aiel loyalty.
I fucking hope so.
Yeah,
because they've already given him his end of, the third thing where they say the Karakarn. They show, Avi and Bane and Chiad looking up to him and calling him the Karakarn. So we get that, So now, even like in the books, Rorik believed that, and now we're going to go to Roydion, and he's going to get the rest of their philosophies, and he's going to find out, like I said, which plays into my theory of every culture having a different part of the prophecy. He's going to learn about the people of the dragon, which is going to be part of the prophecy. Which is, I think it states that when the people of the dragon come, the Stone of Tear will fall. And that's what happened in the books, but I think that's going to get changed.
So what do Skeeter, Kay, and Jonna, what do we think the Forsaken are going to be up to? We now know that Moghedien is out, and she says they're all out. We don't really know. I think we kind of know what Forsaken there are. There's not all of them, but
it's supposed to be 7, right?
Well, that's the thing. Is like, aren't there then 4 that are that should now be out? With
I think what Brother Dan was saying is like that they said that they're all out, whatever all is in this case, right? So, but if I remember correctly, they're like 13K has been kind of neutered or subsumed into 7 or 9 or something like that. Like, Jansen, do you remember the number?
Of let me think, 7 or 9
of the statues. I think there were 7 or 8.
It's so we saw 1, 2, 3, 4. We saw 6.
Oh, 6
in the sitting in the in Ishmael's thing. We saw 6. So 3 on each side.
Presumably,
that's the seals, not the like little statues of the Dark Friends.
Yeah, the seals I'm talking about. We saw 6, and then we know. So there were 8. Lanfear, Ishi, and then the 6 stones. So so we know there was 8.
Okay, that sounds like a great band.
8 statues. Lanfear, Ishi, and the 6 stones.
Okay.
Fuck! Lanfear.
So what machination? So will we see a Forsaken in the Aiel Waste? What is Moghedien going to do?
I hope to God they bring, because I'll be honest, I do love the Isindre, what's his name? Like all that shit with Asmodean, Moghedien,
Adnan Kadir, Isindre.
One of the creepiest motherfuckers in the entire books. There's some creepy motherfuckers, including the greatest of all time, Dolan Millar, David Hamlin. But Hadnan Kadir, just you read from his viewpoint, and he's just kind of like, well, it looks like I got to chop up a body. Let me tell you about my sister. I loved her so much until I had to kill her. So.
Yeah, that is great.
Calculate. If we can get anything like that,
that wouldn't be Lanfear though, right? It would have to be someone else.
I'm fine with it being someone else.
It could be somebody else. That's a scary guy. Hadnan Kadir is a very scary individual. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a scary. Who's you guys? See, my scariest individual, the single scariest person I think in the entire series
is Millie Skane. We know.
No, it has to be between Semerhag and Thorava.
Is who?
Either Semerhag or Thorava. Thorava.
Thorava she's a really underappreciated character.
Oh yeah, she was real scary.
Big.
Wait a sec. We got to go back. Oh no, she's where Thorava is. She's got there.
Yeah.
All right, but Mo Gideon, I'm very excited for though because we now know that like she's there and
we know she's there.
Like even bully Lanfear and make Lanfear scared, which is so fucking cool. And I'm excited about the way that they did like the color change in the show with that and made it
kind
like
of Addams Family kind of. I like that too.
They also made Mo Gideon seem real. They also made Mo Gideon seem really overpowered. Like she could take Lanfear just boom.
Yeah, I did like that.
Yeah, so I hope we also see like the Nynaeve situation. Isn't it Nynaeve that?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, but we only saw she wasn't. I mean, I don't know if she was really overpowered. I mean, she played along. The only way she's ever going to like fight anyone in the books is if she has a trap set for them, and she had one set for her. You know, because even Lanfear said to her, "You don't want to fight me," and she said what she said. No, this isn't a fight. It's a warning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
warning.
No, now here. So we learned that Lanfear is quote unquote immortal.
Yeah.
Yes, and we don't know if all the other ones are.
What do you think the status of the other? Do they have the executive Costco membership?
I don't think so, because
or do they have just the normal Costco membership?
Ishmael and Padden Fane, when they had a conversation, you hear them saying in season 2, but the Great Lord has already granted her immortality.
Yeah.
That, I mean, obviously, Rand stabbed Ishmael and he died, so he obviously didn't have it. So I think that maybe somehow Lanfear got it from the Great Lord, and I think that was her reward for cutting him loose in the original in the Age of Legends. That's how I think she became immortal.
Well, and by the way, Ishmael did not die in a traditional way. He disappeared.
Yeah, well, he turned to dust.
Well, that doesn't happen.
He saw nothing.
I've stabbed 3 guys. They didn't
remember, but if you go by the books, remember when he got killed in the books, he decomposed very quickly.
Yeah, instantly at the end of book 3.
Yeah, and remember Matt said in a stink that was, he's like, he didn't think a human body could go so fast. That was Matt's quote from when it happened. So he did decompose very quickly, and that's kind of what he did.
Well, ends up though, like we found out later, if you remember, that he'd had a terrible diet. So like as soon as that happened, just kind of like microbiome was like just done.
Gross.
Yeah.
I believe the only thing we saw him consume in the entire series was a glass of red wine.
Well, that's probably not that healthy.
No, it's good. Skeeter, what is the one thing that you want to see, Skeet?
Well, the one thing I really want to see, I'm not sure I'll get it or not, would be probably the fin. If we're going that far along as we've been discussing, we should get both shots at them. But I don't know.
I don't think we're going to see the fin.
No.
But Skeeter, like, tell me, like, to your mind, like, I guess no offense, like why? And I get why. I want to hear you.
Just because it's cool and fun and they're creepy. We've talked a lot about the villains in this situation. That's what we were just on, right? Like the Finn are some of the most horror-based villains of the books, right? Like they're fucking creepy. They're scary.
They're like Phantasm. They're like pinheads.
Yeah. No, but they're Skeeter, I'm right there fucking with you. Like.
So we get at least a nod to them or something.
Yeah. So I'll give you this. Like, they do seem to be, especially in season 1, really playing up the sci-fi aspect of the story.
Yeah.
Right.
Showing all the relics and then actually showing us like flying cars and all that good stuff. Do you I think to that end, like we are going to get Rand's entire walk through Radiant, the arches, because
that'll be an entire episode, but I want to see it.
Yeah, and I believe so, and I believe we're going to get it because they're really leaning into that aspect of it.
Yeah,
and I also, the more I think about it, we might get the fin just because of this penchant to.
Well, there's evidence that we're not going to get the fin so far, and that evidence. I've already talked about it. The very fact that Matt has all of his memories.
True.
There's just that fact alone.
Yeah.
You know, it's
They took care of a lot of the reason for us seeing them. So
yeah, I mean, they've taken a lot. I mean, and that being said, are we going to see the Tree of Life?
And he may have even created his own Ashendare.
I hope that's.
They've been making fun of us. They've been
a little bit with that Ashendare.
They've been teasing us with weapons the whole series. No way.
That is the worst foreplay I've ever heard of.
It is, but they've been doing it every time something crazy happens in Piran's life. There's an axe involved in every scene. There is. I mean, in every single thing.
My wife actually does call her vagina a hatchet wound. Is that what that means?
Oh no!
So wait. So now we have so perhaps Pat Fane steals the dagger back from Matt, and then Matt's like, "Oh, boo! I wish I had my weapon back," and then he gets it back through magical means, right? Like if it's not that, then we still have to get it. You know what I mean? Like, or is he just gonna be like, "Well, I really like that weapon," and he just goes to like an armor or you know,
and the fox head medallion, Ryan.
Yeah, but don't you think it would be easier and cost way less money if Ishmael dies and the shield that he had over Fane goes away, and then at one point you see Fane, you know, with this uncontrollable pull, he's eating bugs, he's like looks like rags, he's following them and he's pissed, and he keeps following them to get it. I think that stows up so much right there that they don't have to do.
What's the point of Peyton Fane then? I again, no, right. I have been more than vociferous that I don't enjoy the ending of Peyton Fane. That is not a spoiler. That's just I think things could have been better. Kay is trying to be very
by this time in the books,
we can't. Let's
just stay away from that. But what's the point of Peyton Fane though if that's what we do with him? Because like really in the books, Peyton Fane is this weird third party of evil, and that's frankly one of the most disturbing fucking characters around, with the powers that he kind of starts like really kind of like elucidating. What's the right word? I forget. It starts with me.
And one of the three driving forces of Pat and Fane through the entire book is that dagger.
Yeah, and so I by the way, Skeeter's the MVP of the show. I'm a dumb bitch for cats. But like,
Matt went to therapy, and he doesn't need. He's not addicted to the dagger anymore. Like he just should. Why would that be still an issue? He didn't touch it.
He's not, but Fane did.
Yeah, but Peyton, so why do we have this third party evil, right? This I guess second party in this case.
It's not going to be. He's just going to be like
Pat and Fane's maturation. We see him a dark friend first. Then he gets a power and he denounces the Dark One.
And it makes it so much fucking weirder. Like it becomes so much more of a compelling character that he's not like evil spelling bee. Like he's like just like his own interesting.
He got there by being mistreated by the Dark One, right?
Yeah.
So I believe that like the other Forsaken are going to mistreat him.
Yeah.
He's going to want to have to. I mean, I believe at the end of Pat and Fane, he will have the dagger in his hand.
I hope so. Like one of the weirdest things is in book 1 to 2, when Moraine finds him in Faldara, she says that like he was distilled, and the way she says it, that his essence was distilled, is like it kind of like briefly makes yourself queasy.
Oh yeah,
clearly something wrong happened to this man, as the Dark One wanted to meddle in his brain matter. And and then it was fine-tuned and then distilled again. It's like a bad triple distilled whiskey. Something wrong happened with him. And then the way it's changed him, I think is key though for what to me, like he is the weirdest rogue evil character, and he needs
ever written. Yes.
Yeah, he needs to be on screen and needs to have that.
Yeah. Agreed.
I believe he will.
I believe he will. Crazy Pat and Fane for sure.
I agree. And this actor is so well.
Oh my God, Johan, he's amazing.
Role, and I want to see him lose his shit. Like I want to see him like really get evil and be weird.
We know. Well, the fact that
yes,
he can do it. I think he can do it so well.
So real quickly,
he's going to be in it a lot. He's already been.
One of the fun things about Pat Fane was that he would switch up accents in the middle of sentences.
That will not happen.
And people who are watching him talk would always notice it. Like, is that even possible with the Wheel of Time as it is? Because they don't seem to have distinct accents.
But I love where you're going. Ryan, you're exactly right. Like do you remember that? I think it's in like book 5 or 6, something like that, where he's clearly ruined a child's life. They've been
my God, yeah, that's
having
horrible.
sex with a woman. I don't understand why she doesn't want it more. And like you said, his accent changes, and he's just like, why doesn't she understand? I'm being charming. And he just brings her inside anyway. A different author besides Robert Jordan would make this the worst thing you've ever read in the most just like displeasing but also brilliant way. I'm glad he didn't, because again, that could be just like, well, I'm not picking this book up again. But the ideas behind it are fucking horrible.
Yeah,
Hayden Fane's just kind of like, I'm big.
Well, they'll make him worse than he is in the books on TV. It's just
I don't know if that's possible.
I know, right? I don't know if that is
They have to show it. They're going to show something like it. Because it's just like this. They didn't. Rand and Egwene didn't have sex in the book. They had to up it up. They had to amp it. They had to amp it for the show.
Yeah,
they have to amp it. They have to amp it. Piran didn't get tortured, by the way, Cokes. He got beat up, but they didn't torture him. So they have to amp it up. Yeah. And I believe we're going to get that Pat Fane. I think that
like penile sounding.
Yeah, it's going to be gross. He's going to be disgusting. He's going to be disgusting.
I do think that there's something
really well, but I'm just anyways, go ahead.
But no two accents.
I'm with you. I think that there's something about like allowing like your imagination to do what is not on screen allows you fucked up person, to really go along with it, and then that's when that's what happens. And yes, why I really hope to shit that Fane whistles more. I love that whistle theme song.
I do too. I love it too.
It's so creepy and so good, like so well done.
Yeah. But no two accents, because there's no Mordeth. I mean, there's no.
That's also correct. I'm fine with
that. He's not there, and so they took another character that they took out. For money purposes, like Kieran.
But changing accents for a character on screen, don't you think that would be a really good thing to do?
It would be awesome, but it's like, I don't know. Did you guys see the movie? I believe, who was it in it? James McAvoy. He plays the Beast, and he's 29 different.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. Those 3 movies.
He kills it. That is, top notch. He kills it. So, that can definitely be done. I just don't think that there's a need for it.
No, I think you're right. And also that the accents aren't really, the problem is there's not the backstory of history that of understanding, well, this was a man from, 2,000 years ago in a different war, and this is what happened. Again, it's there, but there's nothing. Like that first story of Moraine trying to explain Manetheren history not being quite there. And then the follow through of when they go to Shadar Logoth not being there to the same degree. All that kind of just takes history is not there because it's just TV show. So therefore, the changing is not quite. That being said, I'm with Kay though, that we should make this guy creepy as fuck.
So what do you guys think the waste is going to look like on the show? Because I believe it's going to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. I hope it's better than the Blythe.
Yeah, I think that, there's one quote I remember from The Shadow Rising when they go into the waste. And they say, it's I think Rand's POV, but they say that the waste was like a personification of the end of the Age of Legends. And they were showing a little bit of that in season 2. I mean, it was season 1 even, when they were traveling. You saw things that looked like buildings and like skyscrapers and things like that. I think we're going to see a lot of that in the waste. And it's going to be dry and it's going to be hot. But I think we're going to see a lot of like Mad Max-ish type of stuff.
So one of my like most indelible memories for the Wheel of Time is this very throwaway line when they're leaving the waste and they're going through the Jengai Pass, and Rand looks up and he sees the docks of what may or may not have been technically, I think maybe where Lews Therin was born, right? If you remember, like he looks up and that's there. Forget the name of the city.
I believe the name of the city was Paradisen.
Paradisen is not,
or is it not Paradisen? No. It's the one that the Aiel sang at until the last one and died. Oh, and then what did they say that season? Jonai, I forgot El Sedai said to Jonai, now that city is now it's a sheet of glass. We're the second largest city in the world has been. What was it called?
We can look it up. It doesn't.
Yeah, we can look it up.
Too specifically. Like the point is, like that's like there are some, but to me, like it's had 3,000 plus years. Technically, it's 3,500 if you really do the math. Yeah. Thank you, Wada Holocasi. Assuming he's right. If not, then fuck you, Wada Holocasi.
No. Don't say that.
Tohara. Yeah, that's it.
Like I said, thank you, Wada Holocasi.
And I believe that it's either that one or where Asmodean was from, because Asmodean was also from a port town, and I felt like they were looking from the ocean up.
I mean, that's exactly right, though. They are looking from the ocean up. That's one of the things that's amazing. Like it's so fucking brilliant how he did the world building.
It is totally brilliant. I agree with that.
But for the most part, though, like the Aiel waste isn't really dotted, to my mind at least, with pieces of history. That being said, this is their show. They can do what they want.
Exactly. I think they're going to do that because it's going to be they're going to be able to use the set over and over and over again for different scenes and different parts. Like you're going to see a lot of walking in the waste. You know, just very similar to when we saw Perrin and Avienda and Bane and Chiad walking. I believe that is going to be the exact same place actually that they're filming in the waste. That's what I think. Because they already have those lands parted out and saved, and
will we see like Fael then come into? Doesn't she go through the waste?
No. Fael never.
She actually is going to die early and often. It'll be fine by me.
I say no. I think Fael is going to be one of the refugees that comes down in the Two Rivers. I don't believe she's going to be.
Okay. Yeah. I don't hope not.
That makes sense.
But we do know that Fael, the character, has already been cast, so we know she's in it.
I hope she
said extra.
Where's Min popping back in? Is she one in the caravan going to Two Rivers?
No, I think she's on her way. I think she's on her way either to Tar Valon. I don't think she went. I think she stayed in Carrion. Lanfear didn't bring her to Falm, So I think she was in Carrion and she's on her way to Tar Valon.
Oh yeah. No.
It's the only thing I can think of where she would go. That's the only thing that makes sense. She has to be in Tar Valon if it plays any continuity to the books.
Well, and she has to go to the Two Rivers. She's got to be there with Perrin.
Yeah, definitely.
And they have to have like a big, huge, badass Trolloc fight and fades. Like they got to kill a bunch of Trollocs and fades.
Is it going to be
Two Rivers, right?
Is it going to be the Battle of the Two Rivers? Is the Battle of the Two Rivers even going to have Trollocs? Is it just going to be White Cloaks?
What?
What's wrong with you, Jansen?
What makes sense?
What is wrong?
Think about it.
It's a good question. It's a good question. But you're bringing up terrible scenarios.
I know, but I'm talking about what's going to save them money. What's going to save them money to produce this film?
I don't know.
I mean, dude, I'm telling you, to fight an entire army. They need to. So this is where we're talking about. What do they need to have? And I believe you, a lot of book reader fans are going to be like, they have to have this. But I'm telling you right now, to have a war with Trollocs in the Two Rivers, also thinking about what they did in the first one with the war with Trollocs. I think it behooves them as a production to not have Trollocs in it because it's going to save them millions.
I agree with Mr. Stovey.
I was on a production.
I'm so sorry.
Jensen's had Dovey shouting in the comments for about a half hour now.
So sorry. This is my perspective.
I was in Vegas for a production of the W, and they had a 4-story green screen. I think they should. No one gets this joke, but Jansen was telling the story beforehand, and like that's how they need to shoot this shit. As opposed
no. I think the Battle of the Two Rivers is going to be. It was going to be a war between the White Cloaks and the Two Rivers, but then the Trollocs came and they had to fight. We're going to have a scene where Perrin and little baby Bornholm are back to back fighting, and they look at each other and they like begrudgingly
think about what they've crafted already, and think about what they've done to consolidate everything. Yeah. Right now, they have the head of the questioners, and they have Dane Bornhold together. Both of them have both said already, "What are you?" to Perrin.
Ask Skeeter. Skeeter, what are your thoughts? You're in charge here.
Yeah, tiebreaker.
You're in charge, boss.
Yep.
I'm the tiebreaker. I think actually the point about how season 1 ended with the Sotarwan's gap is all the more reason to have a fight with Trollocs here and show us what they can do with it. Put some production value into that. Make it look really cool. Hey, we're sorry about that first Trolloc battle. We got you though. Here's some cool shit.
Yeah.
If you pause it, because when you pause on Prime, it'll give you the X-ray, and it actually just says, "We're sorry about that first Trolloc battle."
Whoops, our bad.
That's our fault.
8 episodes.
Yeah, hey, those Trollocs run really fast.
Now, let me ask you something. Okay, you guys. I mean, if you think about this, man, why did the Trollocs come to the Two Rivers in the first place? It was because of Slayer. Now, is that another character? Are we going to see him, or are we not going to see Slayer? So how are the Trollocs going to get there, man? So how are the Trollocs going to get there? Do we know of a waygate in the Two Rivers yet? We don't know.
I do. There's one in Manetheren.
Yeah.
Okay. In the
Leandrin could possibly bring them.
Thanks, Jono.
Okay. So I'm saying, those are a lot of things they got to put together to bring the Trollocs to the Two Rivers.
This is my problem.
Pattern Fane and the Ways. We've already been introduced to the Ways.
Yeah, he whistled.
It's hard to be Pattern Fane brought him in the Ways. I think
it makes more sense. They've also already given us a reason for there to be a war in the Two Rivers without adding anything to it and spending more money.
Jansen, I am so tired of your logic, well thought out bullshit. That's really upsetting. I don't like it. I don't like
it. You think we're gonna next we'll see Pattern Fane? He's gonna be sidled up next to little baby Bornholm.
Yeah, I mean, now here, just to play devil's advocate, there you go. There's a reason. There's a person that could possibly bring Trollocs to the Two Rivers as Pattern Fane, but and yes, in the books, he did not have the dagger when he was in the Two Rivers. So he went there afterwards because I believe his quote was, "They have things I want too." Scourge them. I believe that was the line in Dane Bornhold in the chapter.
What page?
What page?
It was after Homecoming. It was before Homecoming.
It was before.
It was before Homecoming because the White Cloaks were killing the Tinker's dogs, and there were piles of them, and they wouldn't let anyone cross the river because Ordeith actually had some. Remember, one of the officers came up to Dane Bornhold and said, "Some of the Tinkers are missing. They went to go talk to Ordeith." And then I believe the quote was, "I'll have his scrawny bones here in 5 minutes." I believe that's what it was. And then he went to talk to him, and he said, "Now, why would I be hurting any of them?" And they're like, "What would Tinkers know?" And I believe Pattern Fane says, "Well, you don't know until you ask, do you?" Who was I believe that's what happened. So I know so it's possible Pattern Fane could be there. He's a big part of that Battle of the Two Rivers in the books.
I hope so. I hope so. First off, memory is impeccable, and I appreciate that very, very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Secondly, I love the fact, like, again, this is like the thing that I appreciate about your show way more than the one that I'm on, which is utter trash. Is that you guys have thought out your opinions before you get on here? Because again, I am probably the laziest watcher, laziest reader, laziest everything. I'm just kind of like, I like this or I don't like this, and the fact that you're just like I fuck me, man. I just wish that I sit here and like, I should probably think more about this thing that I've been doing for way too long.
No, you should just watch our show every Sunday.
No.
Yeah. You know what I do on Sunday nights?
Like and subscribe.
Yeah. Please put on Sunday nights. I have a 6.9% chance of having sex with my wife, and that's the highest it ever is.
6 point.
In the hatchet wound.
Yeah.
How envious I am of you.
Yeah. Guess what? She's envious of every other woman. Who's
Gotta
not
shoot your shot when you
John,
at the 6.9%.
John, I have a better percentage, and I'm like 1,500 miles away, and I have a better percentage. I have at least 10% chance. Yeah.
We'll see you at Jordan Con. Oh no! That's
all right. Well, speaking of shooting your shot, and keeping your percentages high, it's about time we wrap this episode up, Jansen.
Okay,
and John he's leaving already.
Yeah, John's like, oh.
He's
6.8%, 6.7.
Are we gonna watch his Riz live?
Yeah, ye old Cuttar has brought me a wife, or brought me a beer. She is my wife.
Your wife?
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
So we were talking about, what we want to see, what they need to see, and I believe that they need to focus on Rand but they also need to focus a lot on the interpolitics with everyone. That this is something we haven't been talking about, with the difference between, like, in the books, Tyr hates Ilian, Ilian hates Tyr. We didn't get a lot of that.
That's great. That's one of the things that I do. You know what? Just keep going. I like to get to the real thing.
Yeah, well, that was something like, and we'll mention another, shout out to another series, great series. Game of Thrones, they always played a lot into the interpolitics of different countries and the likes, the dislikes, and the things that they were doing. Now, that plays a huge role in the books as well.
Yeah.
And I want to see if they're going to do that, because once Rand becomes the Dragon Reborn, it's all politics for him, almost until the last battle. So they're going to have to start really, really, really incorporating, different cultures as far as the lords and their courts and things like that into the books.
Jansen, don't forget, it's politics, but also the greatest love story ever written.
It's one of them.
Rand and his 3 ladies.
Also, the land. Remember, Rand is the land, and therefore, when Rand pounds off, the land gets off.
What is that? The Dragon Reborn is
I feel so confused right now.
Dragon Reborn is one with the land. What isn't that a prologue? That's a prologue to
prophecy. Yeah.
What is that? Yeah. Is that Shadow Rising, or is that Fires Ahead? I don't remember.
It could have been any of them. It may have been all of them.
It was all of them.
Yeah. So it's just over and over. It's also what he said when he was jerking off. It's very strange.
Oh my gosh. Well, we've already seen Alana, like in bed with other, a couple of warders. We've seen like a couple of things, and you're right.
They gotta up it up. They gotta up it. Amp it up.
Like, I think that they're going to have, hopefully an igloo scene. Hopefully.
Oh, I think they're gonna have a Leda with a pillow frame.
Not mentioned. There has to be an igloo scene. If there's
not,
we all
here's my big prediction.
Yeah.
Since you all have been asking and just dying to hear it, I believe, speaking of Alana, that her warder, I don't remember the gentleman's name.
Yvonne?
Which one? Which warder?
The bald one?
Oh, okay.
Yvonne.
Yeah. So Yvonne dies.
By White Cloaks in the Two Rivers?
I don't care. He trips in the forest. It doesn't matter. He dies.
Well, it won't be Yvonne. Yvonne didn't die, and did he? It was the other one that died.
No, you're right.
But I think though that it's more interesting the way they're setting it up. Maxim being Maxim Magazine being the outsider of the throuple. Now that Yvonne dies, how are they going to carry on that relationship? Because really, Maxim was in love with Yvonne, and
So then
Alana was in
gonna
love with
bond
Maxim.
Rand.
Yeah.
He's
So,
also
yeah.
So that's
Does
gonna
that
cause Alana to
and
bond
is
Rand.
how does that get worked out? And does she end up bonding Rand? I think they both would have to die, right?
Yeah,
No, I mean, I think that if Yvonne if they go that route and Yvonne does die, even though he didn't in the books, I believe that they would make it. Alana would blame the other warder, and the other warder would think it was his fault too.
I like that.
It could go in any number of ways, but that tension I think will be palpable, and I think that'll be fun.
Right, and I think that's a really good point because right now there is no reason for Alana to bond Rand at all. But take away one of her warders, have her go through the thing that we've been beaten over the head with, as far as with that bond. So she might very well bond Rand to stave off her own self-harm.
The Battle of the Two Rivers is going to be very different. I'm sorry, you guys, all you fans out there. I'm sorry, it's going to be very, very different. You have to consider how many characters are in the world that are there in the books. Varen is there. Alana is there with both of her warders. All the White Cloaks. Slayer is there. Padden Fane is there. I'm sorry. They're not going to do it that way. All those characters, they're not going to find a way to get them there. How are they going to find a way to get all of them there?
Fael has to get the wool-headed.
Fael's there too, yeah.
Fight.
I mean,
otherwise, like Fael's relationship with Perrin is compromised. Like that whole story arc is compromised if they don't have Fael do something really big and heroic for Perrin. That's important. So
season 3 ends with her bringing in the wool-headed army.
No.
Devin Ride. She shows up with Devin Ride. Where Will Alcine is from. She shows up with Devin Ride. Her showing up with Devin Ride saves the day in the Battle of Two Rivers, actually, in the book.
Yeah. What if there is like a sex scene called Devin Rides?
Go on.
Say more.
Yeah. I mean, keep this in mind too. Keep this in mind. Do you actually see her not even being in the show yet? Perrin, who killed his wife in the Two Rivers, do you actually see them getting married? It's not gonna happen.
Well, they have to.
He can rebound,
right? They have
that fast.
Yeah, well, he has to prove he's not in love with Egwene, which
but them falling in love with him, the whole everything going through both Bilal, them fighting with each other, being with each other in tear, going through the ways together, him crying in her arms, all of those things. How do you think they're going to get that together on a show?
Do that though, right? That's also sorry, Jansen. That's like another reason why they have to do like something with Fael, doing something really, really.
Then it's going to be a huge
giant gesture.
Then it's going to be a huge time jump because they have to think. I mean, they're not going to put all that money into that.
Oh no! Okay, so during a battle, Perrin's about to take an axe to the stomach. He's like, and then Fael comes in and blocks it.
They're going to have to do something because Perrin has to still get over the fact that he killed his wife.
Again, I don't think you're appreciating it. Skeeter, have you ever killed a wife?
No.
Yeah. No.
And
I'm sure my wife has wanted to kill me before, but
to the moon, Alice.
We don't know how long it takes to get over it. None of us have done it, so maybe real quick.
Maybe he'll discover that his wife was a dark friend, so he'll get over it really.
No, that is a possibility. That is a possibility. But I don't
slip in there.
I think that's
okay.
worse.
All right, I'm all on board with that one. Yes, he finds out that she was a dark friend the entire time. He actually realizes that she was going to do a downward strike onto his dome, and he instinctively got out of it, and he's going to put it all together, and then he's going to be like, "Damn,
he's shown this
Fael,
some way.
You're
somehow.
like 14 or 15 years old. You're looking.
For sure.
How old is Fael in the books?
16.
Yeah, something like that.
That's a little weird. Yeah, that's
also remember this. In the books, Perrin came back to the Two Rivers. He didn't tell anybody about Rand. That's going to be different. Everyone knows everything in this world. Like, by the time we even showed the Two Rivers, it wasn't so solid of a place where no one went to. People knew information. People who left the Two Rivers, people who saw them even knew that's where they're from because of their clothes. So when Pirin goes back there, he's going to go back there telling and knowing everybody is the Dragon Reborn. That is how he is going to get his army together with them, because we want to fight for Rand. I hate it too,
very much,
because we all went through the journey of reading and taking all this time with these characters. They don't have that in 8. They don't have enough time to do that in 8 episodes. They're going to have reasons for them to want to go with Pirin. Pirin is going to him galvanizing them behind him in the books involve Trollocs and White Cloaks and Padden Fane and Slayer and him getting married. And the stories of Manatharin that they don't even know about yet, because in the books, Moraine told the town. She didn't tell the town. She told 6.
Jansen, you're done. All you do is make me unhappy because you're so close to being right.
Sorry.
I don't actually know if this is going to be true, but you've got so many relevant fucking points, and I hate them all. And I hate that in the most popular way.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. They should be sorry.
I don't want to be the dream killer, man. I just I know what they're going to do.
Everything you say is so true.
It's so fucking true.
It's
so damn true.
The money. I mean, they have to take something out.
But
they also have to make us want to watch these characters. And Fael is one character that they're going to want to make us love.
Yeah.
But
they have to do something grand with her, though. They can't cut that
bang bang
part.
I agree with that. No, not that. No, I agree. I like if they're going to spend any time back in the Two Rivers with the Two Rivers battle, it will end with Fael bringing in some wool-headed army.
I hope so.
I love that.
The coolest thing she does.
Oh my God! I just had a thought. You know what? We might not see Gaul at all. You know who might take Gaul's place? Elias.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did not like him.
Elias is going to take his place. It makes perfect sense because they've already casted him. They've already showed who he is, and they have to find other people. He eventually ends up with Pirin anyway, and this is probably the best way for them to save money by not having Hopper as much in the Wolf Dream and having a teacher like Elias there with him. So
it makes a lot of sense.
Okay, we're all just gonna go cry into our pillows now,
right?
God, this is the Jansen Dream Thriller episode.
Jansen has said is
Jansen Dream.
But it probably is, because these are the logical things that about show business that we just don't, and that's really helpful information.
All right.
Well, and these are all of our dreams. I mean, we know that we have to adapt to change.
Sorry, Elfie, she already has provided change. Remember, I miss beer.
But I am glad to hear that you do think that we'll get a little Hopper, cameo in the dream world.
But yeah, there is going to be change. I mean, we have girded ourselves to that fact, and we'll see what happens for season 3, which will happen, I think, in like 2027. Is it, Jansen?
Yeah, something like that. 2027. I think it is. I thought it was 2026, but you could be right. 2027.
No, I remember it's 2033.
2033. Yeah.
The thing is, and which makes a whole lot of sense for time jumps and seeing these characters mature more.
Technology is going to be so much better. Like, they're just like, let's just hold off on this.
Yeah, we're not going to. Not until the end of Trump's 3rd term are we going to see season.
It makes sense. Wait for that. Yeah.
But we're here to talk and speculate and do all these things. I'm wrapping up, Ryan. I don't know if you noticed. I had a very long day, so I'm gonna say love you all, and thanks for joining us. This is what we do every Sunday. We're here talking about either the show or the books. On Tuesday, we're definitely talking about the show, as my hat drops below my face.
Oh, the little newsy boy is tired.
Hey, what else are you doing Tuesday?
What's it to you, bud?
Brother Dan, Ryan, what else are you guys doing Tuesday?
Oh, what else are we doing Tuesday, Ryan? Starting this coming Tuesday. John, okay, M and Volva, can you remind me?
I forgot my name was Ian and Volva, which, by the way, wonderful character from the books. So on this coming, it's just gonna be me.
Just you.
Take it away.
That's the first time. You want to see something interesting? That other side. I'm so bad at this. That's Robert Jordan's actual childhood house.
Wow, that's cool.
What?
Alan Romanchuk sent it to me. It's a picture of his actual house that he grew up in.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Where was that? Where did he grow up in? North Carolina, South Carolina, something like that?
Well, you know what you should do? South Carolina, I believe. But you should read The Fallon Blood.
Carolina, I believe.
A delightful book that probably has aged even worse than you'd expect. It was a book he was told to write as a kind of historical fiction.
I think I heard about something like this.
It's very, very entertaining. It's a charitable view of a very nice person who the Fallons in the Revolutionary War. And it's very entertaining. The second page, though, as you know, this is why I read books. Nice, just good old cream pie, just right there in the book. Well done to him.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, so it's a historical fiction of the Revolutionary War from a Charleston perspective. It's got some very Robert Jordan-esque kind of things, and it's also got some very like. You wrote this in the 80s. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's something. It's very entertaining, though, at the very least.
That's cool. Speaking of entertainment, this Tuesday begins season 2, episode 1 of TWoTCast.
Now, what is TWoTCast, Ryan?
TWoTCast is the D&D game based in the epic fantasy world. Based by Robert Jordan. Yeah, so it's a Wheel of Time themed D&D game.
It is
run by Clint. We have Clint the Trolloc is our Dungeon Master, and the TWoTCast boys are all characters, and Dan and I are characters as well. So
a D&D game based on the Wheel of Time. I've seen you guys do this, and it is hilarious. It is so much fun. Everybody should watch it and join in.
It's actually not funny. It's serious.
It's hilarious.
No, it's very serious.
And you guys are ridiculous.
I'm trying to win.
It's a good time. It's a good time.
Ryan, it was Dan that couldn't hit a damn thing. Like his dodecahedron left him very, very alone and cold. Is that correct, him?
No, that was me.
Oh,
Lipitor. I'm a.
It was Lipitor.
I'm an all-year barbarian.
Yeah. So
I picked up a damn table and threw it at a monster and just missed the entire monster. Like, how does that even happen?
Big table, little monster.
Just overshot it. All right. Well, hey guys. So that's happening Tuesday, and then we're doing finishing up Winter's Heart. We got about 2 weeks left on that, and then we'll be seeing everyone at JordanCon.
I won't, but Ryan.
Oh, you're not going to JordanCon?
I won't be there this year. No, we have these baby puppies to take care of, and we cannot leave them for that long.
They are adorable.
So,
Jansen, I'll see you at JordanCon.
I'm not certain I'm going to be there this year. I have a lot of figuring out to do still. Got a lot going on, man. Just buying. I recently purchased a new home, and it takes a lot. Thank you. Brother Dan was actually here. So it was great. But last thing, guys, if you watch 911, check it out. You might see me.
All right. We love you, Jansen. Thank you guys
Peter,
for having
will I see you at JordanCon?
No, not me either.
Oh. Well, I see you at 411 instead of 911.
Well, we'll all join via Zoom. Peter, haven't you done that, like the Zoom one before?
Yeah.
See you there. Love you guys.
All right, everyone. Your lives. This is The Way of the Leap.